Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Eating Peace this week. One of the most debilitating, difficult, painful thoughts that produces so much suffering is the idea, I should be over this by now. There is something wrong with me, and I should be over it. This whole eating thing, being obsessed with food, eating, not eating, trying to diet, not trying to diet, all the strategies and ideas we've come up with, all the approaches we've had, the volumes of information we've studied about food and eating and types of food and ways of eating. I should be over it by now. And especially the painful place of thinking this thought after you've quote unquote fallen off the wagon. I don't really like that term that much in a way because it implies that there's a on the wagon place to be, and then there's a fallen off place to be. And it's, I don't know, it just sort of dives into all that too black and white, two-faced place to be in existence, and not really looking directly at the thing that caused this behavior to happen in the first place. So if you find yourself saying, I should be over it by now, how many times have I told you? Must we talk to ourselves almost like a deeply critical parent. What is wrong with you that you can't get this squared away? After some kind of binge, or you were on some kind of special fast and then you broke it, and you unexpectedly became emotional or emotionally ate, overate, compulsively ate, graze eating, any of the thing. You started eating something that you don't really want to eat and doesn't work with your body. In any case, something happened where the mind and emotions were the leader, not the body, and just hunger levels and satiation levels and what feels right to be eating for your body. We all know what that's like, discord between those two things. Then we say, I should be over it by now. Dreadful thought, violent thought, very attacking. Is it true? Let's inquire. Use the work. Is it true that you should be over it? No, reality is that you aren't. Some function just happened. Something just went down. And you moved into this space of expressing who you are, this life force, responding, reacting to something. A belief in the mind, an experience, an interaction, and a belief about that interaction. You're having a reaction. You shouldn't have one. Is that actually true? And you should be over it. Who would you be without that story? We know how painful it is with the story. And a lot of like pulling yourself up together by the bootstraps again, and now let's start in harshness with the self. But who would you be without the thought, I should be over it by now? I find there's a softening immediately. Without that belief, I should be over something that I am not. I'm engaged with the thing. I use it as an experience to say, let's, oh honey, what was going on? In the past 20 years or so, I have not had a binge. I haven't purged. It seems to be completely gone. It's just dissolved. The urge to be really wild with food and eat aggressively and angrily and then purge through overexercise or vomiting or any of it. But there was one experience I had where I got really full. There was a huge feast and all kinds of people that I did not know well. It was a big business conference that I decided to go to. It was very unusual for me to attend something like that, flying miles away to this other spot in the world. And I felt like started having thoughts there, like a very small potatoes person, very little itty bitsy person doing, a private practice and the work and meditation and the calmness of that. And this was loud and lights and 1,000 people and small groups and lots of focus and rah-rah and lots of talking. But I started to have judgments and thoughts about the people and about myself being there and about what was supposed to happen and that I needed to fit in here. And I didn't even catch them in a calm way. There was so much activity. It was a bit overwhelming. And there was this feast one night where people just kept on putting food on your plate and things on the table and drinks in the glasses. And I watched, and I realized that by the end of the meal, it was nothing like the past and previous wild binge escapades, but it was uncomfortable. And I went home riding a bicycle that night, or went to my hotel room on a bike that I had rented for the week, which was lovely. And in the morning, instead of going to the next big event, I got on that bicycle and rode into the hills, and it was magnificent. And I spent time reflectively thinking with myself, what happened? Oh, honey, what went wrong here? It was a while before I got hungry again. I wasn't hungry in the morning. I'd had a lot of food. And I remember I even had the thought in the evening when I came home, wow, I almost feel like I can't go to bed. I'm kind of uncomfortable with food. Very interesting. It was a time when in the past I might have chosen to vomit or been very, very harsh with myself. And I could feel that personality right over there in the corner. But fortunately, with inquiry, I could question the thought, I should be over this by now. This shouldn't be happening. I knew to question it. It was a learning event. It was something saying, look, the only way you knew how to express yourself or get what you needed, do something in the moment that was really important, was to eat or to follow the pattern or to be there in that particular way. It was the only way I seemed to know at the moment. It's not actually true. But a lot of compassion. Who would you be without that story? You should be over something when you aren't over it. You should stop being an addict. How many times have we all said that to ourselves? So let's turn it around. I should not be over it. It's only in my thinking. My thoughts should be over it. My thoughts should be over this very thought. But I shouldn't be over it. And you get to explore. You will know why you shouldn't be over it. What was the eating? What would it say if it had words? You were doing something that needed to express itself without words. A hunger or an anxiety or a franticness or a sense of not fitting in, like mine, or thoughts that you should be different than you were, or you're not sure about all these people, or is this what's required to be successful? I just can't do it. Whatever, you get to understand and notice and be with your own mind, which is trying to just share with you. It's not trying to hurt you. At least I don't, the mind is a little bit crazy, but let's be honest. But the thoughts are worth attending to and respecting and honoring. So, I notice I'm calmer. I step into my day. Another day passes. It only takes 24 hours of not binge eating and not being in the food to calm down and feel better. Just wait 24 hours and sit with inquiry. Write in your journal. Talk to somebody. Be with other people. Connect in an honest, intimate, truthful way. See what it is you're believing and thinking and feeling that need to be accessed or brought out into the open, like a kind, caring parent to yourself instead of a harsh one. So you should not be over it because some message needs to be brought forth, and you can see what it is and write about it, talk about it, and then it will no longer be required. You've heard the message. It's been there. You can take it into inquiry and share it with the world. All right. Lots of love. Let me know how it goes.